Welcome back to the channel, everybody.
Welcome back, y'all. It is your girl, Raven.
And your boy, Jalen.
What are we watching today?
Today, we're acting to episode 24, Boston Bonds, a special podcast with the Stromboli triplets and parents, Mary Lou and Jimmy.
Yes,
Jimbo.
And I know we skipped a couple episodes, but this one looked really intriguing, so we were just gonna, hop onto this one. So if you guys want us to keep continuing the podcast, y'all let us know.
You want to get one of these beautifully handcrafted chairs from DX Racer, make sure you hit that description. The link will be waiting for you so that you can use our discount.
Ray J.
Ray J, all caps. We also have a personal channel.
This one right
here. No, what happened?
Swear.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, okay, we're good.
Yeah,
I'm just making sure we're good. But anyway, yes, let's get right into this idio.
Good morning, campers. Welcome back.
Good morning, Nick.
It's your favorite host, Nick Sturniolo.
Hi, Nick.
Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Obscure seats that you've never seen. So our parents are here.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, Jim and Mary.
Mom and Dad. Yay.
Hi.
Oh, how cute.
All right, guys. So that one's our mom, and this one's our dad.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're gonna jump right into it.
Okay.
Wait. Me and Chris.
I didn't answer the question.
Yeah, go ahead. How do you feel to be here?
I asked.
I'm very happy to be here.
A lot where
Yeah,
a question gets asked and then sometimes people just don't answer it.
Yeah, I feel like Matt.
Yeah.
Because I notice he gets interrupted a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Matt gets interrupted because he talks as if he's bleeding out. It's the last words he's gonna ever say. He's just like, and so it's really difficult. It's easy to interrupt someone who's talking like a mouse.
Love Matt.
I love Matt. That's good, guys.
I love Matt.
Do you like our studio?
Oh, I love it.
Are you at all upset that it's decorated for Christmas and you wanted to see like the not Christmas version, or is the Christmas version okay?
No, I think the Christmas virgin Mary.
Christmas Virgin Mary is fine.
Oh, this is some cotton balls and some little packages.
It's not
with
cotton balls. It's snow,
No.
Dad.
No.
They're not.
All it is snow in like packages.
Yeah.
No, it looks really good. I remember when you guys were having this built.
Yeah.
And to come here and see it, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Feels like it was yesterday, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
That's how I felt.
You're so weird, Chris.
No,
that's
so
how I feel. I
strange.
feel like just yesterday we were building this. Now
Mm.
it's like 4 months.
Yeah.
Well, we were here a year ago.
Is this the 25th
Fifth episode.
episode?
Well, it might
Yeah.
not be the 25th. It's the 25th one we're filming. Could
Okay.
be around that area.
Might move around.
Yeah.
Like 50,
Little
like
around.
50 episodes.
Oh God,
I have
let's
no
not jump the
idea.
gun here. We're on number 25. So, finding out you were having triplets.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna
you're
start
going
all the way at
right
the beginning.
to it.
Yes.
We're gonna get right to it. We're gonna
Let's
start
hear
at
it.
the beginning.
Let's talk about it. How you feeling?
How'd you find out? What was your experience like?
Okay. Pretty shocking. Went to get an ultrasound to look into some possible complications. Thought I was having one baby, and turns out I was having 3.
So they were just like,
Yeah, they were pretty shocked too. They kept asking me how this happened.
Do you have it in your family? Like,
well,
Yeah,
yeah.
they.
You're like, I
Oh yeah, it,
It
could have
just
been
was-
like in vitro.
Yeah, they kept asking me if I did in vitro.
No, they
In
don't
vitro.
have any in the family.
you never know if they go back and there could be
No.
some twins or anything like that.
No.
You're a hater.
They wouldn't know.
We had not. It was just a natural thing, and I was there alone. I told Dad, "You don't even have to go. I don't think it's going to be anything viable." I wasn't anticipating that we were having
you
a
weren't
successful.
anticipating such big news.
I was not anticipating big news. I was anticipating bad news and was prepared for that.
Yeah.
So to get the complete opposite, I told this story just recently to
Yeah.
someone. I literally felt like they were talking to someone else in the room.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There was no one else in the room.
Oh,
It was
okay.
just me. And they were really
I wish
good
you showed
about
a
it. They
picture
were
of what her
really
belly
fun
looked like.
about it.
Mm-hmm.
The nurses all came in and started clapping, and I was just like,
I feel like
in
that's like a
shock.
like yeah, that was nice of them, but that'd be like the last thing I want.
Like,
they're
that's
"Oh, you're having
overwhelming."
triplet kids, let's bring in the parade of nurses and doctors to come congratulate
Yeah,
you.
like it's enough
here's
to hear that.
Yeah,
It's like
here's everybody in the hospital to come walk around and cheer
Yeah.
on your moment.
I think it spoke to me about how incredible the news was.
Yeah.
Like, even at a hospital, for them to be like,
Damn. Like,
whoa, this lady's got triplets. And then,
And I bet you there's still people waiting in the waiting room. You're hogging every single.
oh, I held it up. The
Yeah,
whole,
they're-
the
they're-
day went, nobody got seen after that.
Yeah. That's
They all went out and partied to
So then
celebrate.
how'd you tell Dad?
Well, I called Dad first
Yeah.
from the garage as I was leaving.
Yeah.
Told him everything was okay.
the garage.
The
they-
garage at
Oh,
the hospital.
They said the garage. I'm like, what is that?
No, the garage.
Yeah.
Called him, said everything's good, and he was like, "Is everything good? Like we're having a baby?" And I said, "Yep, we're having a baby. I'll tell you some more when I get home." Drove home pretty much in shock. Wanted to
What
just
were you like guessing, Dad, in your head? Like, cause did you think Mom was like sus? Like she was like, what,
No,
what
I
did she
think
not
she
tell
said
me?
that it went well and that, you know, we were gonna have a child, and I was like happy. And then
But did you
Not
feel
the news
did
I
you
really-
feel like she was doing something or no? You just were like, oh.
no, I thought it was just she
You
was
just-
pregnant with one child.
Yeah.
And then when she told me,
Two
like she
more.
gave me a diagram, and the diagram was like
ultrasound
A
picture.
type.
He said a
Well, it was like a
diagram.
piece of paper and it said A, B, C, and I'm like, so that means everything's fine. And then it was like,
Yeah, Dad didn't know that AVC meant baby.
Three
One,
separate
two, three.
baby
He
A,
thought that
A.
was
I
I
thought it
wouldn't
was just
either.
like one.
Different
Some
pictures of
pregnancy
one
chart.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And
your
then
ABC.
She goes, no,
It's
three.
looking
And I'm like,
good.
then she was 3 babies, and I was like, stuck.
Yeah,
That's insane.
craziness. That's insane. So did you feel prepared to have 3 kids? 'Cause
Not at all.
like there was no like.
Wasn't in the
You
car.
can't-
Hell no, she wasn't thinking about no
Not
3
at all.
kids.
I think I just kept thinking it wasn't really going to happen.
Yeah.
Like I thought I would wake up from a dream or
Yeah. You're like, we'll deal with this in 7 months.
Yeah.
It's a
like,
lot.
yeah, pretty much 8 months because you guys, well, 7.5 months. But you guys were early. Obviously, a lot of triplets come early.
Not enough room for
But
3
thank
kids.
God you were all good and healthy and
Yeah, like the episode we talked about it before. They said a lot can go wrong.
Yeah.
And then
That's so crazy. She really had all 3 of them in her. How does the umbilical cord situation work?
I mean, they're all in their own embryonic sacs. So, like,
All 3 of them had an umbilical cord in her.
and then they all eventually met up with each other. For
That is insane, bro. That is
we can look that up after this.
Yeah,
after the-
definitely.
Hello.
But he was eyeing you down the entire time.
And I was trying to ignore him because I knew he wanted me.
But no, that is just so. I'm just thinking about like looking at her now. Obviously, she wasn't taller back then, but just how small she is, and then just carrying these 3 kids. Oh my god!
Her belly was.
Boom.
a month goes by, then it's like, this is happening.
Yeah. Damn.
I just never knew anyone that had triplets. So to me, I just couldn't understand how I got picked for this special
Journey of how
Journey.
many people did you know that had triplets?
Zero.
Until you had
Zero.
How about
Oh,
you,
okay.
Dad? Did you know?
So it
anything?
wasn't in the family, obviously.
No,
Okay,
I
okay.
knew like twins, but not triplets.
Well, you're a twin.
Right. But
So-
then,
Oh.
you know what? it
What?
is?
And
So-
experience.
When we went to follow-up doctor's appointment,
Oh, so I lied. I take it back. They have it in the family. On his side. That happens.
We never knew though. I
Not
didn't. At
until
least
now.
I didn't know. I wasn't
Chico.
deep diving to see if he was a twin or not.
Well, now we know.
they
I guess we'll never
always
know.
asked what type of in vitro did you guys do, and like a lot of even nurses and doctors were surprised because they don't see a lot of like spontaneous triplets where you don't have any assistance getting like pregnant and
Yeah,
stuff.
Mm.
Yeah. That's insanity.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Holy shit.
Yep.
I don't think. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to handle that information at all.
Yeah, I had a lot of support. I think a lot of people that we told were just as shocked, but along the journey, we were just incredibly lucky, blessed, fortunate, whatever word you want to use. And you guys just continue to amaze us. So
Yes.
the blessings just
It was like a
continue.
sideshow everywhere we went. It was pretty funny. Like restaurants and stuff, people would look
Yeah,
at
that's
us.
me and Nick wrote
Yeah.
that down on our list
Yeah.
of things to bring up. Like, what's like the craziest thing out in public? Like you guys experience, like having like a triple decker fucking baby
Stroller. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what? Like, do you guys recall memories where like you just felt like you're being like looked at, or like people were just,
All
like,
the
"Oh
time.
my
It was
God."
all the
all
time.
the time.
That's crazy.
Because you
But
get
I don't think
babies
I don't
and
think it was out of
everyone's looking at
malicious
you like,
intent.
Oh, they must be triplets, and it's like,
Yeah. Well,
Well,
think
they
about
look
like
alike.
your excitement. Like even we were at the bowling alley the other day, and there was a cute baby, and mom was like excited to see the cute baby. And then imagine three
Three
babies
at
like all at
once,
once. Like people get excited.
I would
when
have
they're
been like,
public
what
and
in
there's
the
just one baby.
world?
And you were
Like,
dressed
three,
alike
it's
for
like-
like a short amount of time, but not like over
Yeah.
the
Short.
top, like when
Oh,
you're in
that's
school
a-
and
Yeah,
stuff.
we
So
knew
I
way
can-
too many twins at school that would like
Are you done?
I felt a bump on his ear. Sorry, guys.
come to school in like opposing stripes. Like one of them was in like red and green, the other one was in like green and red. It's
Yeah,
like,
no,
all right, let's.
no. If you guys had the same clothes, it was because someone gave us a gift.
Yeah.
Not because
Yeah,
they
the
were buying
corny
it.
stuff.
Buy 3 of the same.
Yeah.
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 No, I needed to get more clothes out of it. If you all had the same, then how could I switch it around, right?
Yeah.
You did a good job making our outfits. I see our outfits of when we were little, and I'm like, all right.
We had
yeah.
better style when mom dressed us as like kids than we do now.
I agree.
Yeah, we had better outfits when we were like
The
4
little
years
gap.
old.
Yeah.
She said your style's
Dress good,
trash.
But, you know, people gave a lot of gifts too.
Mhm.
It's it's exciting to dress 3 little babies and
Yes.
and
Chico, I need you to please stay still or sit somewhere else. Because I can't do this. Go. Moving around too much right now.
Can't just have one video. Stay right there.
and we had Justin always behind the stroller trying to help me push it, and he was
Yay high.
trying to be really
Perfectly
strong
tall
and
enough.
push it and help me out a lot.
So like looking,
What was Justin's reaction? Like, who told him he was gonna have 3 brothers? Like, and how did that go down?
Do you remember, Jimmy?
No, he was. No, not really. I think he was just on board, and
just
like
thought
we
it was
just
gonna be
kept
a
telling him,
party.
"Oh, you're gonna have some brothers
Brothers.
coming on," and he's just like, just so happy.
'Cause he
Whatever
was
about it.
6.
Oh, so he was younger.
Newborns.
Okay,
Yeah, but,
gotcha.
like when he was probably told. he was
Right. He
6,
was
like-
just excited. He wanted a brother or a sister or baby brother, and then to say 3, I mean, he was like, "Cool, now I have more."
Well, he was
people to
probably
play with."
happiest when you guys started walking around and like.
Yeah, we
talking
could
and
actually
stuff.
do
When you
something
like
together.
actually like.
It's
laying
a play
in
with
bed.
him.
And they were just a
What the
thought.
hell's
He's like, okay, just tell me when it happens.
yeah. He's like when they can talk to me and we can do something together,
Right.
I'll join
Right.
the
Yeah,
conversation.
exactly.
Yeah, like when they can do my Legos with me, then we'll have a
Yeah.
conversation.
Exactly.
It's like,
Like-
I'm not changing any diapers, so just.
Yeah, once it's done, then it's done.
Yeah, you guys were taking up a lot of my time, so I'm sure he was probably like, one of these guys gonna grow up.
Yeah.
Change their own
Eventually,
diaper.
yeah. Don't
Looking,
hurry
He
up.
needed a
looking back on the
friend.
day we were born from like now, could you have predicted at all what it was like raising triplets and another kid? Just like 4 kids at once and 3 of them being triplets. Like, could you have predicted what like growing up would be like as triplets for us?
Like, did you feel like I'm trying to think of how to word the question better. Like, I'm confused.
It was literally one day at a time. That's how you had to. You couldn't
Yeah.
even look ahead at all.
Yeah.
Like there
Right.
was times when like to just say I wanted to just sit with Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like it was just almost like impossible to have downtime with like,
One
it
of
was
you-
always
one of
something,
them.
like, going on.
Matt would be crying.
Yeah.
Nick would be.
putting out fires on
Pooping.
shit.
and-
I just think as a mom, I got really worried that I wouldn't have enough time for each and every one of you.
Yeah.
One of my favorite memories was like I would hold 2 of you in my arms, right? And then I would put one in the bouncy seat and I would use my feet.
It's like you're
And I'd
playing
be
the
like-
drum.
Oh, literally, like
Yeah,
juggling
and bounce
around.
you all and be like, hi, 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 you know, just trying to give you all attention.
insane.
I thought that I would never, ever, ever have free time again. Like I thought my whole life for the
Was
rest of
over.
my life would
Was
be
it?
taking care of you guys.
Yeah.
Obviously, those were just feelings of emotions and overwhelmingness. But I just hoped that we both hoped that you'd always be friends. I picture that you would always get along.
Right.
Which was a big ask, right? And you do.
Especially when somebody's got a personality like Nick's in their group.
Yeah.
I didn't anticipate that because keep in mind, Nick was not always this grouchy.
No, I'm grouchy now.
Oh.
Nick was like my sidekick.
Person.
I mean,
yes.
Nick and I were really, really inseparable. I have to
Yes.
say.
It was like it was great because I feel like growing up with you, Dad, and Justin,
it was kind of like each of us had a perfect match. Like Matt would always do
Okay.
the most with Dad. I felt
Yes.
like me and you always did the most together, and then Chris would always do the most with Justin.
I
so it was
agree.
like we each had like a
Everyone had somebody.
They have their bonded
supervisor,
moments
I
with
guess.
each other.
Special person.
Yes.
I mean, we changed it up, but
For
I
sure.
mean, yeah, it was definitely. But I just had hoped that you would always get along and stay close to home. That was how I pictured it, because
Yeah.
that's how I was raised. We just pretty much stayed close to home.
Yeah.
Right? So, did that
we
answer
are.
the question?
Yes,
Yeah.
that answered the
What was
question.
I was confused by the question.
What was like
Thank
your
you.
biggest fear after having triplets? Like what could have been the worst case
Oh
scenario
God,
after
that's
we
an
were born
intense
already?
question.
Like
I
we're
mean,
already here and arrived. Like, oh, worst fear.
that's every parent's worst fear is that something bad will happen to their child.
Of course.
That
Health. As long
Health.
as you're healthy, it's just
help. I mean, that's
all you can hope for. You know?
that is that started with Justin and it never went away.
Yeah.
Like, but I feel like I'm not even talking about it with enough respect, because each parent, that is their biggest fear, right?
Yeah.
That something would happen to their child.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Do you guys recall like any memories of like when we were out in public or anything where you like misplaced the triplet? Like, cause you just had so much going on. Like I remember like when I was in Target with Justin when I was like 8.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
I, like,
we
ran
heard
down
that
the
story.
aisle, whatever. Like when us three were like little and irresponsible. What was it like to like bring us to stores or like a restaurant? Like how on 10 did you have to be to like make sure we were all in line
Together.
around?
Yeah.
Like, do you have any memories of like one of us like walking away and like you like being like, "Where is my other child?" for a second? Like,
I mean,
I never lost a child. Mom did more stuff with you, like in stores and stuff. 'Cause
Yeah.
I had
Yeah, the
stores
stores
and
were the
stuff,
hardest.
and, like,
Yeah.
because you would want to go look at something and I'd be like, start
Yeah.
walking, and then I might be like, oh, shoot.
Yeah, if mom
Stay
and I were
together, stay together as a
really
unit.
No issues.
Yeah.
It's just like if mom was along with you guys. And
Yeah,
like,
it's 3 against 1.
oh, Matt got away. Or Chris got away.
But I would bring grandma. Grandma's was always with
Yeah.
me. So
Because
it was
grandma's
just
on top of it all.
Oh yeah.
I just remember we used
Grandma's on top of everything.
I just remember we used to like make it so much harder because one of our favorite things to do as kids was hide from you. Like
Yeah.
Oh.
like
I vividly remember I was gonna say this story yesterday. Like when we were at the beach in the Cape and we were all swimming in the ocean, and then I got out of the water and didn't tell anyone and ran back to the playground in the car and grabbed my towel, and I was just drying off like 40 feet behind you guys,
Oh my
Where's
god.
and then you guys all were looking
I
at the ocean.
remember that.
I don't remember.
And you guys
That
thought
was at
and
the public beach.
and then,
I remember
and then I
that.
saw you guys like all
In a-
realize that I was gone and like saw you all start to panic, and I was like, I'm over here. You guys thought I was like, 100 feet.
I do not remember that at all.
I
was,
remember
I
that.
remember seeing all of you and Justin looking for me.
That's craziness. Hiding in like coat racks.
Always in coat racks.
Just under the coat
remember
rack
being
and
in
jump
coat
out
rack.
at strangers.
Oh, people do
I
that
remember one of
now.
our
I'm
favorite
like,
games to play, like walking
playing
outside
hide and
with
seek.
mom, would be like to running to like the nearest tree and hiding behind it and trying to scare.
Even though you
Mom.
knew we were behind
But
the
she would
tree.
see us
Yeah.
go hide.
It'd be like the one time where I was like, oh, maybe she doesn't know where I am, because I like try to make a distraction or something.
Yeah, no, you guys never really tricked me. But
I know.
sorry.
You should have done
Yeah,
better.
you
You should have
pretended
done
well
better.
though. I thought
She
I
was
did.
on to it.
Heartbroken right
Sorry.
now.
I'm devastated that my
Like
trick didn't
devastating
pull
news.
off.
Yeah. Chris was a magician for a period of time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the beach was definitely the hardest part because I can't swim, as you all know, and so if you wanted to go into the water, Dad would need to be there.
Yeah, or like
Because-
pools and stuff.
I'm
That's-
sorry.
Yeah.
Or pools and stuff.
Oh, pools.
That's one of
forget
my
it.
favorite memories of when we were in freaking what's it called, Vermont,
Yeah.
and I was swimming with my head down with my
Oh.
floaties, and Dad
Oh,
thought
so
I was drowning. Remember that?
panicking.
I was swimming with
And you
floaties
jump,
on.
is that when he jumped
And
in?
he jumped in fully clothed with your phone and wallet. Yeah, I was swimming with floaties on my head like this, and
Yeah.
Dad thought I was drowning myself.
You did jump
No.
in. I remember that.
I could see myself jumping in. Yeah, I kind of like I don't remember.
I remember that.
Yeah,
That
the
was-
water is what would be the most scary for me.
That's so funny.
Well, because it's just off limits to you for helping.
Totally off limits.
Because then if one of us are drowning,
Yeah,
you
'cause the
gotta-
thing is
you either
Sorry.
drown too. Or
I'd always look for one of those like floaty things at the
Oh,
pool.
yeah.
so
Oh
I
yeah, yeah.
Throw it at
Throw
us.
it
The
at
life
you.
preserver.
That.
Be like, "Here you
If
go."
you, if you jumped in to save us,
What'd you say?
The life preserver.
Okay. Never
So you
heard it.
essentially drown yourself. Yeah.
You wanna test that theory? Huh? You wanna test that theory, Bucko? Huh?
Sure.
You wanna test that theory, Bucko?
Go ahead, let's test the theory.
Huh?
Test that theory.
Life preserver.
Oh, okay.
Oh, alright.
Whatever.
Oh, alright.
Whatever.
Oh, alright. alright.
Shut up.
Absolutely, there'd be no point.
Yeah. No point.
I might try, but
I feel like you could figure out how to swim.
if you were drowning, maybe.
Just like I feel like you got it. Under any circumstance.
She needs some classes, y'all.
I know.
Get her
Y'all
some
need to
swimming
help her
classes.
out.
Hope, Dad. Mom's
Zero.
swimming.
Mom's not swimming.
Wow.
You
Well-
tried to learn.
No, too much fair. I've taken swimming lessons.
Oh, never mind.
I've done it all, but I've just too much fair at this point.
Yeah. You're
Good,
never
she-
gonna drown. It takes so much.
I
to
always tell
drown.
Mom if she goes to a pool, like 3 foot, 4 foot pool, just try to swim with your feet off the ground.
Mhm.
You know.
It takes
Oh,
almost
yeah.
I'm not.
more
As an
effort
adult,
to
it's
drown
hard.
than it does to swim.
What? I mean, okay. Yeah, because then instinctual wise, you know.
Well, you're
gonna
wasting
be-
all your instead of wasting your energy learning how to just do this, you're just so you're wasting mad energy freaking out opposed to just actually doing it. All the energy you use freaking out, you could have been treading the water depending on the situation, or actually just swimming back to where you need to be for safety.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all. With me, anything past 5 feet, I freak out. Like I have to hold on to him because
Bro, I wish you would have did like swimming back in the day or something, bro.
where?
Oh yeah, your school didn't have.
No, we didn't have pools like your bougie ass. We did not have pools. I mean, your school wasn't that bougie,
My
but
school
you had a
was
pool.
not
so.
that bougie.
That's insane. That's true.
I'm gonna believe you on
Well,
that
no,
and
not if it's-
not test it.
If you're in deep water for X amount of time.
Okay, yeah, like
I
if
know
you're
what
in like
saying.
if you're in water with no escape for
Right.
hours, yeah.
Let's
Then
respect
there's no-
the water.
If you're in a
Yes.
pool, okay, Poseidon. If you're in a pool,
That's why I'm
you can
called
just sit
knee-deep.
there.
Knee
Yeah,
deep.
nothing beat when Mom fell out of the rowboat and thought she was drowning. And she just all she had to do was stand up to get out of the water.
Right.
That was pretty funny.
Okay.
What's
Next
like
question.
Yeah, yeah.
Next question.
What's
She
like
not
the
having
craziest
it.
gadgets you guys had like made or had because there was 3 of us?
Like
Like-
triple decker stroller, or like what are like the most ridiculous? Where do you even buy a triple decker stroller?
We actually got that from another triplet family.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah,
Donation.
that was a really cool thing. It was like a donation because I became part of an organization, and the word gets out when you're triplets and you kind of find each other.
We made
Like,
the news. We made it big.
yeah,
was
we
a
made it big time.
Prego.
Peg Perego or something.
Parego.
Prego.
Oh
yeah.
wow.
That causes a lot of attention. Steering one of those down
Yeah,
the street.
One of the 3.
3 people's stroller's crazy. But like,
Yeah.
what beyond that? Like, were there like a triple bottle feeder or something crazy?
Triple bottle feeder.
Wow, you should have
Triple
warned me
bottle
to
feeder.
make me think about all this. I would have pulled out the baby books.
You guys didn't. I feel like there
It
was
was
so
just
much. Like,
everything. I mean, like baby bottles, right? I was constantly washing baby bottles, like, you know, those little yellow hoodie things that you wore at the beach. Like we had to buy 3 of them. You look like 3 little duckies, and then like
Oh,
everything
okay.
was in 3s. But
You can't really plan too much either.
Did you ever
kind
get,
of get a like a plan going into the day,
Mm.
but it could be out the window
Yeah.
as soon as you get.
Did you ever have like a
Mm.
like a baby like holder thing, like the
yeah, I
backpacks
did.
and stuff?
I did.
Oh, the
I tried that
bajorns.
too. I tried to be a hip
You
mom.
want one
I
of
have one
those.
picture with one of you on the thing, but
And that's it.
that was it.
Yeah,
Um,
just,
Because it just
They
wasn't.
have-
having
it's
a child.
They
it's
have-
not feasible.
But they have one where you can have a baby in the front and in the back.
I wouldn't want one in the back. I want the baby in the front at all times. You just don't know.
I know you don't know, but I'm
just
just
don't know.
saying that those are.
They are a thing, yes. But yeah, of course I want one. I feel like that's just.
He wants one for Chico, so if any donations, feel free.
He would move around too much. He probably try to choke himself out on that thing.
No. If it was me, I don't think he'd move around.
No,
too much.
probably not with you, but me.
On you is like way more obstructing to the other 2.
right.
Like you can't
right,
really do
because
much.
I
to-
couldn't.
You just need extra pair of hands.
It was people.
Yeah.
We had people with us all
we
the
need to
time.
get a lot
Lots of friends and such.
Yeah.
Always had friends with me, you know. I mean, Tina was always with us, and she would be an extra hand. And like I said, Grandma, everyone, Maria, Helen, I would grab anyone. I'd grab complete strangers, like.
Yeah, they can grab him. It's
Hey,
like
just
running
take my
away.
kid.
I remember being in a pizza place once, and like one of the things that always happened to me is I would think that another grown adult was one of you guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I remember hugging some guy in like a shirt at
know.
Market, and
thought it was
I
me.
thought it was Dad. And I was like, he was like holding my head and like pushing me away.
Oh
And
my
I was like, Dad, why won't
God.
you hug me? And I'm like yelling at this guy, and
Yeah.
it's not Dad.
Then he looks up and it's
Yeah.
No, nothing beats one time I backpedaled into a pole and thought it was Dad. I was at like a restaurant and there was like a big pole. Like
What
a
the
glass
hell?
thing, and I was like walking and I like went to lean on the pole and I turned around about to hug this pole thinking it was Dad. It was a pole.
Oh
Dad
my
ordered from the
God.
trash can at McDonald's.
Yeah,
Oh
that
my
was
God,
good.
that
Always
was
reminds
too
me of
funny.
that.
Yeah.
The trash with like the extra spout because it was
Yeah. And he
Do you
pulled
remember-
it out.
Oh, the
Oh,
ones
he thought it
outside.
was a place that.
no way. What are your favorite memories from like hobbies or sports that we had as kids? Like when we like first started. Like,
I'll let you go, Jimmy.
No, I
'cause
think
feel like I'm
hockey
talking
was
a lot.
the one that was kind of like, you guys weren't really crazy, like big. So
Yeah.
I always felt like the hockey was like a little nerve-wracking when you guys
Mm.
went into the corner.
It'd be like a small
Yeah.
child
Matt.
playing football.
Yeah.
Matt was an animal in hockey, I remember. Like he would just get, you know, to a point where he was just getting madder and madder, and then Matt would just snap, and then I'd look over and he's in the penalty box because he just like.
I took out a lot of my early frustration.
Aggression.
in hockey,
Yeah.
for sure.
Matt would get a penalty every game.
I was burying kids like absolutely
Yeah.
illegally, like
Right.
like
Oh,
the
gosh.
sport of hockey.
But I never
like,
played
for sure.
hockey, so I didn't know the game. Like I knew the game, but I didn't really skate when I was younger. You guys got into hockey because Justin played hockey.
Yeah.
But sports was always great. I always wanted you guys to.
What about
continue
when
to play
you
baseball.
guys took us to like free skate and Nick
I
was
quit.
just not
Oh.
having it?
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah.
That's my favorite video of me ever.
Oh.
It's like
Oh
it's
my
like
Learn
a
to skate.
glimpse of me now as a kid. Like I was like,
Every
8,
time
I
the
was like,
camera panned over, Nick
I was
was
like, "What-
sitting
what-
on the
what-
field, great, like so
my God.
mad, like humming his glove.
we have to find that video.
Right, and then
I remember there's a video. I think Justin was recording from the bleachers during free skate. And he
Oh.
recorded me like while I'm getting off the ice. He's like, "Oh, Nick's quitting right now. You can see him angrily skating." And I couldn't skate well, so it took me like 10 minutes to get.
yeah, and then I remember that really clearly because you started taking, and I was like, Nikki, what's wrong, honey? And you're
I
like,
threw a glove.
"Ah," and then you took your gloves off, and oh, he's throwing his gloves off. I think he's done.
I
And
think
you're-
after that day, until I played hockey again when we were in like 7th grade or 6th grade, after that day at free skate, I did not touch anything to
at
do
the
with
skate,
hockey for like
mm.
6 years. Like, that was the biggest
Oh, wow.
grudge I held as a kid.
yeah, you.
Yeah.
I never tried hockey again for like
Even Dad, like you were like our baseball coach too. a lot of
Yeah.
years.
Oh,
Like,
they
how'd
did
you separate,
baseball.
Like, favoritism to your
Nice.
kids
I
and
love
the team?
baseball.
Yeah.
I got into it because of Justin,
Yeah.
and I got in because I didn't want Justin to not play because
Yeah.
he might not have, but Justin held his own.
Yeah.
I just was
Mhm.
there, and then it felt like I was a little league coach forever because as soon as Justin went and got one,
Oh,
to
then
the
they
league,
did
you
it.
guys were going through. it. I was like, wow, I'm like a 12-year coach here.
Yeah, you need like a
Yeah,
citizenship.
Oh my
like
God, I got a
that.
plaque for like being there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, you
hilarious.
did.
Yeah.
I, you know, just talking about it really gives me warm feelings in my heart because I felt pretty special, like being there, and people would be like, "Oh, there's the mom of the triplets," and like hockey games, baseball games. People would notice that there would be 3
Same
Sturniolo.
last names. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was funny with hockey with your names on the back.
Yeah.
All his Sturniolo.
Yeah.
That was
Like people would just think the same kids like.
No, 'cause
equal.
I
that kid
I
just
remember-
skated by me in this.
No, I remember getting like penalties in sports, and,
And
it
it
was
wasn't
Matt.
good.
Like
Yeah.
Matt would hit someone, and they'd blow the whistle, be like, "Oh, Sturniolo in the penalty box," and they'd grab me.
Right, and we would all laugh in the stands because we knew.
Yeah,
And then I got
Yeah.
somebody else, and then I'm getting another.
yeah. I
And
remember.
I remember Chris
Oh my
was the
God.
fastest in hockey, like
Oh,
really
yeah, so
fast,
fast.
but he couldn't really like
Stop.
stop like really good at the beginning, so we'd go all the way
He
down
would
the
slam.
other end of the ice and like smash into
Yeah.
the floor.
That's how I would just stop. Is I need something in my way,
But
whether it
Chris
was a
was
person
very,
or like a
very
board.
coordinated.
Oh my
so
God.
even if he wiped out, he'd get right back up like it never even happened. He
Yeah.
made it look so.
Oh,
I also
shit, damn.
remember.
I remember Matt getting such crazy penalties when we were younger that like he would literally get a penalty that would require like 2 people punishment. Like the coach would pick another kid to also go with them.
Yeah.
What
No
the
way.
hell?
The one
Like, it was
memory I
such
have
a
is
legal
when
move in the game that like they were like, okay, penalty for that kid.
I was just getting bites and shit, and I'd like poke my holes, like poke my fingers through their, like scratch their nose.
Hey, you're weird.
No, the one memory I remember is like when we had that the tournaments every
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
and we like it was like the end of the game, like it was literally third period, like 30 seconds left, and Matt like buried some kid. He starts punching Matt, and then the ref dragged Matt by his jersey, and then you're supposed to get in line to like shake hands, and Matt like throws his helmet, throws his mouth guard, and was like "see ya," and like skated off the ice.
Oh,
We
What
have a
the
lot of
hell?
good
Because the
hockey
ref choked me.
community.
Once the ref touched me, I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, there were a couple of times it was kind of like, oh boy,
Yeah.
this isn't good. Right
Yeah.
now.
No, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, you guys were.
I think I got suspended twice in hockey.
Hockey's a different animal, though. You know
They
what
should
I mean?
just let the
Nah.
little kids punch each other.
I could have never.
No one's
played
gonna
hockey.
cause that much damage.
Yeah.
I would not. I'd want revenge right away, so I'd be spending the entire game in the penalty box.
No,
probably.
me too.
Yeah.
Like
I
you know what I
mostly
mean?
did.
So baseball and basketball, I didn't have those problems.
Right.
And then I had I think a lot of the reasons why I had a lot of penalties playing hockey is because I was defense, and the other person that was defense with me was a girl, and she would always get like hit and buried.
Yeah, and you
were
and
protecting
everything.
her.
And then I was
Yeah.
just like,
This ain't.
I was like, I had to do something.
Yeah.
So it was just like, I remember when I nailed some girl on the other team because I thought it was like I was just playing equal. I thought it was like, no, she was a big girl though. She's like,
Yeah,
and I checked her.
They used to play co-ed hockey.
And
That's so
everyone
crazy.
from the other team was like,
I didn't even know they had
I didn't know
Your
that.
opinion
I
though,
didn't
like
know.
if there's a sport where like checking is involved,
Can't
like
be
you
mad.
check the
Check.
girl
You're
that's
out there, you're
playing, like
out
come
there.
on,
I know.
you're
hey,
playing.
she's
girl.
out there.
Right.
She wants to play.
There's been a lot.
You
of
want to play? You got to pay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's coming from a woman.
You
Yeah.
want to
Right.
dance?
Let's
Yeah,
dance.
let's
Put the
dance.
dancing shoes on.
Put your
All right,
dancing
when-
shoes on.
At what? Growing up, what age?
It's good.
When did you start to notice us being individuals and like having individual hobbies and interests? Because like when we were little kids and we were doing everything like
Yeah.
with you before school and stuff, it was difficult to like express individual activities because we were just doing everything together.
Right. I'll take that one first, Jimmy. Because I'm thinking at middle school, like theater, you did the
Oh God.
theater and
Yeah.
your brothers didn't.
I only did that to be with my friend,
I know, but
but
Oh.
that was a thing.
Well, even sports, like me and Matt. were sports.
You and Matt continued. Nick didn't really want to. You started being more brave and going to friends' house without your brothers.
yeah.
Oh
It's
shit.
kind of
Okay.
different. 'Cause up
Yeah.
until then, you all three did things together.
Everything.
Mhm.
I think Nick was the
Why
first
did
one
you all the way
to
up
really
here?
show his independence.
Such a big
That
head.
makes a lot of sense.
Change.
Yeah. I feel like it was just like I didn't align with the same hobbies as Matt and Chris. So it was like if
Right.
when we were doing shit as kids that we were all doing, it was just like I did not want to be partaking.
Right. I mean, then in high school, Chris did the drum line.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Music.
Nice.
Really?
I didn't know
That was
that.
Cross.
I can't believe I like performed and shit in front of the school like
Yeah, you
numerous
did.
times.
I feel like we did an equal amount together as much as like
Holy
alone. 'Cause
crap.
Thinking about it,
I
like,
didn't know
having,
that.
like-
Okay,
This holiday
Chris.
season-
Like it's like it sounds kind of funny because we're asked like we did ask about like when do we show like individuality and we're like talking about high school, and middle school, but it genuinely was like, we didn't do anything alone.
No, it was.
till,
It was
like middle
it was
and high
not
school.
till
Like
middle
the three of us
school.
really
Yeah.
did every single thing together for the longest.
I just didn't
Wow.
do.
and we still do.
And then y'all
Do you guys regret not doing certain things in
By
high
yourself.
school, like activities?
The only thing I regret about high school is going as much
I
as I did.
knew he was
Yeah.
going to say that.
Going as much as he
Going to high
did.
I
school.
would have
Yeah,
just stayed
yeah.
home.
You can't regret that.
I wish I was more disrespectful. to
Message
I-
out.
What?
Where did you
Hindsight, I wish I yelled at him.
Because
You
it's like if
can't say
what
that.
I'm saying is like if a
Oh, 'cause his
teacher
mom was
was
a-
like I
Yeah.
just don't like when I always
go
say
to the
I always
bathroom.
feel bad talking shit about teachers because
No, teachers work
great.
really hard.
Teachers work really hard. You work in a school, right?
I'm
And
not a
it's-
teacher, but teachers work
Yeah,
really
and it's
hard.
like I think of like there's some teachers out there that are really really great and really really awesome.
Yes.
But, like, I've
There
never
are those
understood the
ones.
authority of like adults deserve respect if it's not going both ways. Like if you're not showing your students
Yeah.
respect, you can't expect it just because you're the teacher. So I wish.
Stand on that. I like that. I like where he's
Wait,
going
say
with
that
that.
again?
Basically, like, his whole thing was he didn't like that teachers basically believe that they deserve respect just because they're teachers, and that he didn't like that it was a one-way street. Basically,
Oh.
like you can't expect to get respect just because you're the teacher of the classroom, like, but then you expect. But if you disrespect me, I'm still supposed to respect you.
That's why. Do you remember that one time I told you about?
Yes, walking out.
Yeah,
Yes.
I had kids in my class just walk out because someone was having an argument with the teacher. I forgot exactly what it was about, but you know, the teacher, nobody liked her, so everyone was like, nah, 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 nah,
Right.
nah. And then more people kept arguing, and then eventually people just started walking out the classroom.
Right.
And then she's like, oh, if you guys walk out, you're gonna get ISS, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Type stuff.
But I listen, I agree with you, Nick, because a lot of teachers think just because they are the teacher that they should just be getting respect, but they never show it. So it's like, what are you really teaching? As a teacher, yes, you're supposed to teach your subject, whatever. But outside of that, what life lesson are you teaching? Regardless of whatever. I think, yeah, it should be a two-way street.
You respect
but-
me, I respect you. And
Exactly.
if not, then I'm not gonna respect you.
Exactly.
Period.
So that was his thing.
Act more on that. And I would argue with every single teacher ever. I remember getting sent to I've gotten like 3 substitute teachers fired from the school.
Oh,
yeah,
Some
he
teachers
said
got
that.
He
kicked
talked
out.
about
The
that.
proudest moment, but
I
I think
hope
if you're
I
the
don't
worst,
get Nick.
Probably a lot of the time.
it was just like I could not put up for teachers just like abusing their power of being a teacher.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
what you
I
were
agree
saying.
with you, Nick, and I definitely agree that
Do you find most of the male teachers were like that?
More of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
sure.
more of the.
Yeah, my chemistry
it's also,
teacher.
like, I'm
I
not
feel
gonna
like-
name
I think
names.
My chemistry teacher was my least, probably my arguably one of my least favorite
Yeah.
humans to grace the earth.
I
The
honestly
worst person
think.
ever.
I honestly think. I don't know if this is really good to say,
Just
but I
say it.
honestly think women teachers are more patient.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yes.
I agree.
Well, I think it's
But I
also
think
like
it's
Depends,
the mother
depends.
instinct. Is
Right. No,
Yeah.
100%. Yes.
So it's like there's always.
Well,
I
it's also
see
like
that. I just think it's like parenting is essentially just like you're. I mean, not parenting. Teaching is just like parenting in a sense. Because,
parenting a lot of
You're just parenting a lot of kids, and it's like if the teachers. There's 2 people, like the adults you learn from growing up are your real parents and then teachers in school. Like they literally go hand in hand. So
Right.
I feel like teachers don't understand that they are actually like impacting this child's life just as equivalent as
Some.
their parents.
Some.
You know what I mean? Like my life lessons I've learned from adults have been from teachers and my parents, and that's it.
And imagine what
So
some
it's like-
teachers like that teach young children, the stories they must have about
Yeah.
like the little kids. They say like everything. So a lot of the things that a kid that's going on in the kid's life, they find out through the mother finds out through the teacher or the parent
Yeah.
finds out through the
I
teacher.
just
Hey, he's talking about like some stuff like maybe substance
Yeah.
abuse and
All
stuff
that
like
stuff,
that.
for
Some
sure.
crazy
And then
stuff,
that raises
yeah.
some flags
Yeah.
for like the kid.
But I also just
Yeah.
think of what makes me laugh is how easy it is to be like a kindergarten teacher. Like it takes more, or not easy, but it takes. I'm talking easy academic wise. It takes
Yeah, you
more
can't
of
do
an effort.
ABCs,
Yeah,
stuff
it takes
like
more of an effort
Well,
to
yeah,
be a
obviously.
good person, and like you need more about like psychological stuff of like knowing how kids function. Like it's more important to know about kids than it is the actual academic stuff of the kindergarten teacher.
right.
But
That's
they
what I
can
meant.
tell a lot
Mhm.
about the kid, like what's going on in the kid, just by little
Little things
What
happen.
seems like a little task to you, being
And that's why
an
I'm
adult.
high
But
school.
it's a
if the
big
kid
task to
can't figure
them.
out the
Mm.
most basic little things, then it raises a flag to the teacher. Like
Right,
Yeah.
but social
What's
and
something's not
emotional
going on,
learning
yeah.
starts in kindergarten.
Yeah.
So a teacher has to be tuned in
Yeah.
to how a student learns.
Yeah.
You know
Of
what's
course.
Right,
Yeah.
you're not doing trigonometry in
I never went.
kindergarten.
I never went to preschool or kindergarten. I started school in first grade.
There
Wow.
you go.
That's insane.
What does that explain?
That
to you?
explains it.
Damn.
What does that explain to you?
Just being fresh. Sorry.
Being fresh. I haven't heard that in a minute.
I will say I vividly remember calling a lot of my teachers mom growing up.
Yeah, by accident.
That happened to me a lot.
Like, oh, mom, and it's not your
I
mom.
was like, oh, you're not my mother. I hated school, man. I really.
Well, no, it's just my chemistry teacher.
I think we all
I'm trying to
did.
think of, like,
I
the
think we all
positives
went
of
through
I
a brief
lo-
period of hating school.
I liked school.
But I think we hated school more so because it was like, I'm not trying to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Aside from that, I love school.
Yeah.
But yes, that was the worst part.
I hate sitting in this class and there's nothing funny going on. What's going on? But I hated school because it was like,
You just didn't want to be there.
I didn't want to be there. I mean, I enjoyed the people that I met and became friends with, but I'd rather have been home playing my video
Everyone
games.
does,
You know what I'm
for the
saying?
most
I'd rather
part.
be home because sometimes it was just a nonsense day. Nonsense day.
No,
Like all the experiences I've had, I truly like. I think it's also like a mindset, and it's like a kid's gonna learn more if they want to be doing something, regardless of if they don't. You know what I mean? Like I never wanted to be in school, and I would go into school in a negative light. And like,
Energy,
even if
yeah.
The teacher, there were so many times that they'd be like, "Oh, do you get it?" And I'd be like, "No," just because I didn't want to. I fully
Right.
got what was going on. I just wanted to be like.
See,
I
Well,
hated
you wanted
that shit.
to rebel.
I
Yeah.
think
you
there
didn't wanna
should be
there.
more.
Because it gets to the point when like a teacher forces something so much, it's like, now guess what? I'll
I
never
don't
even
wanna
give
do
you the
it.
light
Yeah.
of day of even acknowledging the fact that I even considered learning that. Like I will intentionally not learn and be like, okay, what's up? You're a trash teacher. I can't learn anything.
Like, what I think is there should be more like basic math classes than
Yes.
like other classes that you'll never use.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because
agreed.
depending on what
Agreed.
you want to do with your life, a lot of kids know what they want to do with their life. So if you're trying to teach me something that I know that I'm not going to use that or be in that field, it's essentially, in my
It's a
case,
waste of time.
it feels like a waste of time. Like, I'm not building a house. I don't see myself ever being in construction or just that realm. So
But it's
geometry is something that I didn't really care for.
I get it, but you say it now, but then you don't know what's gonna happen in the future.
Well,
so
then in the future, I would learn.
why if you
in-
already learned it?
I don't remember some of the stuff from
Yeah, so I-
geometry because I haven't
I know.
used geometry up until this point. So it's
Essentially, they need to teach us just basic classes.
basic, what you actually want to do. Like if you're gonna go in this field, all right, let's give you classes that are gonna help you in this field. Like
That's
if you
what
want
college is for.
well, that depends.
That's where you get to really choose what you want in high school.
I
you don't
understand
really
that,
get to
but
choose.
college, in most cases, depending on what it is, your situation academically, you have to do certain things before you even start learning.
Yeah, so learn the basics in high school and then
Yes,
after in
but-
college or whatever.
But most kids are not good at learning the basics, so that means they have to learn the basics again in college and waste those years before they actually get into that field.
You got it.
Some of the best things might be a trade school. I'm talking about stuff like that, like becoming a mechanic, becoming a plumber, becoming an electrician, all those other jobs that are really good paying jobs. That is some of the stuff that they should have helped us focus on if that's what we truly wanted to do.
Not so much.
Not so much, oh, you need this math class to pass, but you're never going to use this math class ever. Ever. You're never going to use this type of math ever.
Ever.
Ever. Why did you take my sweater?
Because I'm cold.
How are you? You're not cold. Your skin is warm. Bruh.
Because you.
Bruh.
What you mean, bro?
Bro.
Ow!
Bro.
What the hell?
What? I didn't even do anything. Stop it.
Stop pinching.
Bruh. Come on, bruh.
Why
It's
you
not
wearing-
even
you're
that-
not even wearing it. What's the problem?
It's not even that cold in here, bruh.
Shut up.
Bruh. Take it off.
No, I'm comfy now.
Take it off.
Why is this such a
Take
bother?
it off.
I'm good. 350. I'm good.
In school, they should
Leave me alone.
teach you like basic life things that.
Thank
you're
you.
gonna do
Credit.
In your
Bruv, please. Bruv.
I'm good.
Bruv. Bruv.
how to do all.
Jalen,
Bruv.
if you have to watch
Bruv.
the video one more time,
Bruv.
stop. I'm good.
Can you please
No.
just...
I'm not cutting any of this out.
No, I don't want you to cut it out. I don't care. Can you just move up before I get the camera, bring it down here to show them how much gap space you
Go
have?
ahead, and then you
Okay.
hear doo-doo.
You're not gonna hear no doo.
Jalen, I'm
They're
trying
not
to
gonna
watch.
hear. They're not gonna hear doo. Don't say that.
Okay.
Don't say that.
Can we watch this video in peace without you being a disruption?
Are you gonna push me
Pay
back?
attention.
Are you gonna push me back in my chair so I can't?
I
You
agree.
get out of
I
it.
agree.
Balance a
Annoying. Ah.
checkbook.
Right.
How to do all this other stuff. And one of the things, like if you're in a trade in the school and you start learning
Okay.
electrical and all that stuff in
point.
like high school, that's a really
Good.
thing.
Yeah.
It's
But if you're
good.
learning like stuff like I don't want to say like history's bad, but it's like I forgot a lot of the stuff I learned in history.
Yes.
Also, they teach you the wrong parts of history. Like
Yes.
every single history teacher
It's like,
teaches
how
you
is
like
this
what's
gonna
like
really
what you
help
have
me?
to learn textbook wise and leave so much stuff out.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I argued with my junior and senior year math teacher more than anyone in the world.
Really?
I'm not paying attention. And I'm not doing this because I'm never going to use this
Yeah.
the second I graduate.
Yeah.
Well, and I never looked at any of the equations I've learned either one of those years ever again since I
Well,
was
it all comes down to
Facts.
simply like how
Facts.
the dynamic between the teacher and the students were, and if like you created a good
was
relationship with your
hard.
Right,
students.
you
If
just
you
hit it.
create a relationship with your students, you could teach them anything, and they'd be willing to listen.
Right.
It's
Right,
just a
right,
matter
right.
of that.
Mhm.
There was teachers that would like strictly be just like work, and not care about you, and then that's the teacher that you don't want to listen to.
Right. And
Oh my
just-
gosh, the teachers that kind of like, they were just so focused on making sure that you passed the test, opposed to like, well, it was a
That
little
was
different for
my
you.
math teacher, my junior and senior year.
Like,
I had the
that's
same teacher.
All they did, those teachers that were just so focused on just that test at the end of the year, and it's like, damn, bro, like, come on.
to kind of conclude and move on,
Yeah.
right? Because we're not here to bash the public school system.
Ah!
And I think it's really important, you know, as your mom, and I'm obviously always worried about what people think, right? Like, you don't want your message out there, especially with your audience, to be like, school sucks. You know, screw your teachers, don't do this. That's
Yeah,
not the
for
message
sure.
you want to convey, right? Because
Not at all.
clearly, although the three of you hated school, you were learning something, whether
Yeah.
you knew it or not. I mean,
Yeah.
you're three fine young gentlemen, and Dad and I did the best we could, but you were influenced by your teachers as well.
Yeah.
Those who respected you, those who built a relationship with you.
Yeah.
And that's when you said the word relationship. It's all about relationship.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mary Lou,
And
you might
in
be on to
today's world
something.
where things are so hard.
She's their PR
You
team.
guys went to school during COVID, you know, shut down. It was a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
People need to remember that you need to take care of people's heart first.
Yep.
And if you don't
Period.
take care of your heart,
Uh-huh.
you're not going to learn. And that's why you
Get in that bag, yep.
Right.
I also
So-
feel like going to school.
Mary
as a
Lou reached in
triplet,
that bag.
and also having an older brother that priorly went to the school was like a whole thing because it was like like being treated as like one human being was like, and then also getting compared to Nick and Matt. Like I always felt like stupid if I
Yeah,
was
like if I had the same teacher as
Mm.
Chris and I like wasn't doing my homework,
and like a
right,
teacher
your
would be like, oh,
teacher
your
would-
brother got
Yeah,
like,
like,
okay,
Yeah, that's not
okay,
cool.
Why
fuck
didn't
you,
you?
dude. Like you're a goofball.
Right, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Ask another question.
Yes.
Yeah, no, one of my favorite things is like when
I know,
middle,
fuck school.
when middle school teachers are like, that shit won't slide in high school, and it's like,
Oh
that
my
shit
God,
won't
yep,
in
all the
school.
time,
It's
all the
like,
time.
Okay, this
Or it won't slide in college.
Okay,
I feel like we're too deep now. We're
No,
getting
no,
too
no, we're
deep.
good.
Let's
Nah,
lighten
get deeper,
it.
get deeper.
okay, these next two
No, they're
questions
done.
you might have to cut out, but answer as freely as you want, and don't
I don't
name
know them.
names. Without saying a name, did we have a friend that you did not like when we were growing up?
Ooh.
Like a friend that you were like, oh, I hope.
Be
you still hang out
honest.
with them.
And just
I-
don't say like their flat name, but like you can hint to us who it is.
Be honest.
I had a friend. No, you guys had a friend whose parent was a little bit more freeing with rules than we were, and I didn't feel you were supervised very well there.
Okay.
So you really wanted to go a lot of times, and I didn't feel 100% comfortable.
Okay.
I respect
Yeah.
that.
I love all you friends.
That's the segue.
No, I'm
Growing up.
I'm trying to picture who the wise guy was at the house that mom's thinking of. I can't really. I
It
don't
wasn't
know.
so much that the wise guy came to our house; they wanted to go to his house.
Yeah.
Mm. But
And
she
I
didn't
was
like it because of
well,
the
okay,
rules that
who's
wasn't.
gonna be there.
Yeah.
I think I have a guess.
Yeah, we'll guess after.
Guess
Yeah,
after,
I don't
but
think,
I mean, you had really good friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking
Yeah.
of, next
That's
question
good.
is gonna just be, which of our friends do you think like built like it was easy for us growing up, like your parents, like you guys understood like the individual, like having triplets and being
like or having a life alongside triplets, whether it's a friendship or a parent or a brother, is a difficult task. So it's like you guys being our parents and Justin being our brother naturally started you guys off with like being in the position to have the ability to understand dynamic of like having triplets or being
Right.
around
We're
triplets
experts.
easily. So it's like, yes, exactly. So which friends do you think came into our life that were just like either great friends or you think adapted well to being friends with 3 different people that come in a group of 3?
Yeah, I think most of your friends adapted really well. I mean, am I naming names?
Yeah,
here?
go
Yeah,
for
it's
it.
positive.
Like
positive.
Chloe
okay.
was always
That's
a great
what I was-
friend.
Oh, Chloe
was-
from
Dad is
way
especially
back
Chloe.
Chloe
when.
was awesome. I mean, you always had a lot of friends.
Yeah.
And think about if a friend comes over to our house, it's 3 more friends they have, and they're not going to someone's house where it's just like one friend.
Yeah.
True.
So it's like they got to know each and every.
Oh, right. I see what he's
Okay.
saying.
They had so many good
I see what he's
friends.
saying.
But growing up, you had a lot of a lot
Yeah,
of your
yeah.
friends were girls.
I think I also like didn't really make them myself. I kind of let that be their
Yeah,
job.
Nick used to make a majority of our friends, and then we
Yeah.
would just like get along. Like me and Matt were so close growing up that like, cause Nick always isolated himself from me and Matt.
which is annoying.
So when me and Matt would always get along very well, so we really feel like didn't feel the need to reach out to new friends, and then Nick kind of feeling like
Yeah.
outside or like alone sometimes, I think made him like reach out to new friends.
It
and then
forced
me and
him,
Matt just became
essentially.
friends with
Right.
whenever Nick was.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Well, yeah,
friends.
because it was like Matt and Chris were hanging out with each other, and then they were hanging out with like the guys that like sports and stuff.
Right.
And those were not my interests. So it's like at school, and like most of our friendships for plans we made, like I would say even to this day, other than like LA, because LA's different, we're grown. But like all the friends we've made that were in Boston were just like mostly from me.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, like
At some level. Even
You-
Nick
Nathan, I
seems
was
like
on
a
Nathan's
very
hockey team
social
before
person.
Matt and Chris.
Oh wow, that's right.
And then I was friends with Nathan for like only 2 months before Matt and Chris were his friend.
right. You asked me to become friends with
Nathan's parents.
parents because you wanted to be friends with Nathan.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's,
Nate's
like,
on
always
board
been
for the
mine.
duration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure.
And Nathan became friends with all 3 of you.
Yeah. I remember, I think I only went to Nathan's house once, and then I was sold, and I was like, Matt and Chris, you have to come with me next time.
Mm.
Yeah, there
Mm.
was really no
I-
one friend that you kept all to yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody.
And like birthday parties, right?
Yeah,
Nobody
I
was
was
just
gonna
going to
ask about
invite you. It was
Yeah.
invite all.
It was
3.
all of them.
Except
Yep.
for
Right.
some
Yeah,
people.
some people are just. Like,
Yeah. There was very, 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 very,
Hmm.
very
Me and
few
Chris know
people.
one girl.
Matt, there was one girl that
She invited just me to a birthday party.
She said, "Shh."
Oh,
He used to
yeah,
invite just
invited
Matt.
Yeah, I was the only triplet that never got individually invited to a birthday
Yeah.
party.
Wow.
That was
Aw.
an odd situation because
You
I
weren't
was sort
invited.
of like,
No.
if
There
you're
was
gonna
a girl
invite
that
one of my
invited
friends-
just Nick to her party, and
There
there
was
was
a
this
boy that
dude that
invited
was
Did
just
you
like
really
just
want to
Matt.
go?
No.
See,
I didn't
so
care.
didn't-
Then
I
it
just
didn't
felt like-
matter.
Yeah, I know.
No, but I think
It's
he's
the
just saying,
principle.
yeah.
yeah, that was kind. Well, you gotta keep in mind though, like say people had
Like
were
3 of
doing-
us. Like they had a budget,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, I'm close.
You're
to
on a
one.
budget, and you pick one. You're picking 3.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
And like say they were doing a movie birthday party,
Mm-hmm.
and they were gonna just pick like 4 of your best friends.
Yeah.
If they picked 3 of you,
That's half the.
You know?
That's already
Yeah.
all
Like,
of
one of
it.
the craziest things to me was when like one of our friends when we were younger had a birthday party at like a concert.
I think
and
that's the
like,
only
it was
con with
literally-
them.
I remember she told her mom like it was an ultimatum of like you can bring your cousins or the triplets because there's so many of both of them. So it's like such
Right.
a weird thing where it's like since there was 3 of us to start, it was like a lot of people had to
Right,
pick
I could
between
see
like even like that's why we always like and we always talk about the minivan like how we film videos in the
Right.
minivan, but it was like the minivan we've had forever and it's like a staple and like it's like a family car. When
Uh-huh.
you have triplets, it's like if you were taking us somewhere after school and Dad was at work and you were picking up me, Matt, and Chris, and say you had Justin, that's already 5 seats in the car.
yeah, but we
Right.
were
Justin-
little kids on the floor and stuff.
I know. We were
We
We
was
made
like,
stuff.
come on,
Yep.
come on.
Yeah. But it was like I just think of
Yeah.
like if we wanted to hang out with a
like a
friend and like their
clown
mom,
car.
It was.
if someone's and that's why I feel like we also like you were so close to our friends growing up and like always doing stuff with us is because we couldn't go with other people's parents because they didn't have
Enough
accommodations
room.
for
Right.
Okay.
It was definitely our van that we just loaded up.
Yeah.
Like I have vivid memories.
So do
of-
I. I have memories of being in the trunk with some kids.
Oh,
and
yeah.
me and my friend next, like across from each other, just talking the whole time.
You're not in the
Everyone else is in
trunk.
The
front of
trunk,
car, and
yup.
we were in the trunk.
We had
Trunks,
to, you have to
floors,
say that me, Matt, and
dashboards,
Chris,
everything.
me, Matt, and Chris were always the first 3 kids to sit in the illegal seat.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
We
yeah,
made
'cause
sure
I-
other people's kids were
Right.
seatbelted,
I did.
but And it was like me and Chris enjoyed it, and we were okay with it. It's something we had to do.
You just reminded me of one other situation that I kind of they had to make an exception for us. You know, parent-teacher conferences, you're only supposed to have like 10 minutes per student.
Yeah.
Because the teacher,
Oh, okay.
I would get like
Very-
a half hour. And
Yeah.
I'd be like, ooh.
Yeah.
But that's okay, let's talk about Chris. Okay, let's talk about Matt.
That was one of
All
my
right.
questions. Is like, was there a time in school where like you and Dad would get together and look at our report cards and be like, "Oh my God, like one of them is falling behind"? Like, did you ever have like a reaction to like negative report cards or like what? How'd you even handle like having one of us fall behind in school or like a negative experience in school?
Just hope we keep you afloat, like in school.
Yeah.
You know, because we kind of knew like you didn't like it, but it's like, you know, the speech,
Homework
do
was
the
a
best you
challenge.
can.
Yeah.
Like, and then
I remember.
Homework was,
Yeah,
I feel like
probably,
homework is always a challenge. I
Bro.
feel like they're like, oh, you're gonna sit here, and then you could do whatever you want. Make sure you finish your homework first,
Yeah.
and then you could play or whatever. So it's like
Bro, homework was one
homework
of those
is
things,
booty
bro.
cheeks.
Homework was one of those things where it was like, it felt like a punishment, but in reality, like obviously as we're older, it's not a punishment.
No.
It was just to reinforce what you learned that day. But like homework, imagine hating school and then you had to come home and do more school.
Like I'll just flat out say it. My brother, I know he lies about homework. He's always
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, I don't have homework.
Or I did it in
Then-
school.
Oh, I did it in school.
Bro.
Come on now.
The funny thing is, I know he be lying because
I
it's
know
like,
he
I
lies.
used to say that. There's not enough time within your one study hall to do that certain topics.
Especially you're in high school. Come on.
Bro,
now.
certain
now.
topics you needed to be home to like have a good 2-3 hours opposed to
But-
45 minutes. So I know for a fact he was lying,
But
saying
it's
he got it all
also-
done.
But it's just because, like, no offense, like, he's not enforced enough. They just let him do whatever. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like he's always, he's not going to want to do homework.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like just hopefully, just had to say that, but just hopefully whenever we do decide to have offspring, little kids, that we'll actually be able to
Enforce it.
help them and force them without being like, do this now. Like,
Well, the thing is,
You
for
know what I'm
me,
saying?
like, I know, just going off on a tangent, I've never really said this, but when it comes to, like, having that offspring, I want to be so present in their life to the point where they understand. Because I just want to tell them everything about this life. Like, just really have them understand that some things you need to do in order to be in a better position within life.
even if you don't like doing it.
Yes.
Like,
There's a reason there, and I wouldn't even just leave it at there's a reason. I would literally just be like, this is why you do this. This is why you do this, and show them examples of, all right, so if you don't end up doing this, this is what your trajectory is going to be. But if you make this one little change, if you just work with me here, you're going to be able to spin your life and put it in this direction. I don't want any, depending on how much offspring we do have, I don't want any of them following my footsteps, my path. I don't want any of them feeling like they got to go through the fire to understand
me.
that it's a bad situation. You don't need to go through the fire. If I'm literally the blueprint, I've been on this earth for X,
Telling
Y,
you
and
how to
Z.
do- like what you should know, how to do it.
Yes.
Like,
Like, use me as your cheat book. I've been on this earth. I've seen certain things, you know what I'm saying? And I know I'm still young myself, but I'm just saying when I get a little bit older, like, I've seen certain things. I know what's not good for you. I know that this isn't gonna be a good job for you. Please just do this in high school. Like, for instance, if I had to do it all over again in high school, I don't know if I even run track or cross country. And the reason why
academic.
I think I would just purely be academic, or I would do a trade on top of being academic. That way I could set myself up now. And this is what I would tell my kid. I'd be like, listen, if you're not solely going into sports, if you're not solely going into music, if you're not solely going into this, do not waste your time. Do not waste your time. Because you're just going to do these sports just to have these high school memories. And I get it.
That's like me with band.
It's cool, it's awesome, but if you're not going to proceed through it, set yourself up. Because one of the worst things that you could do in high school is waste time. And that's what I did. I wasted time. I didn't know what I wanted to do besides YouTube, but let's just throw that out. I'm just saying in general to keep me stable while I chase after YouTube or go into YouTube. I wish I would have picked up a trade and did it in high school because, one, it was a lot easier. It was way easier because where my mom worked, they had buses from my high school that would go, and the kids, you would either do an AM and a PM. So if you went AM, you would come back to the school in PM and finish out your things, and then vice versa. So I'm going to sit down with the offspring when they get to middle school, well, not even middle school, elementary, and I'm going to talk to them. Like, listen.
As best you can, because, you know, they still have to develop their comprehension skills.
I understand that, but I'm going to be like, listen, man, I would love for you to do sports, but if this is not the path, because as we saw in the Michael Jordan doc, he didn't need to do it. Well, he was doing it as a child, but it didn't get serious until he made junior varsity at junior year. So I'd be like, listen, man, if you're not going to do this and be serious, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. There's no point, because you're going to sit up here and waste all this time, this valuable time that you could have been setting yourself up later on, because now you're looking at potentially working this job. And guess what? Working this job, you're not going to have fun. Why? Me and your mom already went through it. We already went through it. It's not fun. So figure it out now and take your academics serious so that way you can get into a good school. And then if you are doing sports, you only do a year of school, and then you have the potential to go into the draft for whatever it is. You just got to be good.
So lesson of the day, do your homework.
Do
That's
your
all we're trying to
homework.
say. Do your homework.
Do your homework. Listen, it sucks, but it's going to put you in a better situation. And guess what? You're going to feel a lot smarter in conversations. You feel a lot smarter. So that's all I could say. You know what I'm saying?
Good job. Good tandem.
Back to it.
Stop. Wait. Stop slamming the table like you're a
Got some
kid.
early gray hairs from
It's because I didn't do my
remember
homework.
this-
You
Dad
just wouldn't.
I never. This is a fun fact, and I said this on a podcast.
Helpful?
Yeah, I feel like you did a lot for us, like in school and then after school with our friends, and that
Dad.
was more of like your aspect.
Like, I wanna
But feel
be
when
part
it
of
came to
that.
Homework, it was mostly
cool
Dad.
dad.
When I think of doing homework, I think of doing homework with that.
Yeah, because he would
At the kitchen table?
at the
Yeah,
kitchen.
Not even. I remember one time we had a spelling bee or spelling test in second grade,
Yeah.
and the words were so simple. It was like, or maybe it was first grade. It was definitely first grade, and the words was like ship and like boat and like 4-letter words. And I remember.
B-O-T-E.
I remember Dad printed out like the spelling words, and me and Chris all hid in like different parts of the living room,
Oh,
and he would
flashback.
read down the list, and we had to spell them while we were like alone. And since we were hiding from each other,
Oh.
we didn't
So you
shoot
would
at each
hear
other,
what he
I
said.
remember
Yeah.
I took one of the papers before, and I wrote in Sharpie on the clipboard that I was using all the words. And then I did it, and I like got them all right. And then Dad looked at my clipboard, and every single word was in Sharpie on my clipboard. And he's like,
I think we still have the
Yeah.
clipboard at the house.
yeah, there's a clipboard at the house with the word ship on it. And I was like,
Yeah,
it's like the funniest
definitely.
shit ever.
Yeah, homework was hard. Reading, we used to like reading time, but then that
Got
kind of
older.
faded
Yeah.
away. And I
Got
couldn't
older.
understand it because I loved school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved school. I loved reading, and none of my kids were scholars.
It's for sure a
No,
teacher
I'm
thing.
not.
It's for sure a
Damn.
teacher thing though, because like even like I've been out of school now for like 3 years, and now I'm starting to like actually enjoy reading and writing. So
Yes.
Because you're not
It's
being
weird.
forced to do
Bro,
it.
It's
yes, that's such a
100%
fact.
What you wish for.
It's-
You know what I mean?
I agree.
it's
Like, I
100%
find the
a teacher
people with
thing.
the most, like, degrees, like,
Annoying.
strange.
zero common sense. I work with
No, that is true.
zero.
Yeah, I do agree. Like, there's like street smart, which is like a bad way to put it, but it's just like so.
Yeah.
No,
You guys are
just
well,
smart
life
and
life
straight smart.
smart. You're either life smart or you're book smart or you got it. You got both of them. But yes, that is yes.
City smart.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then
Yeah.
there's like education smart. Like I
remember-
can't spell
I
for
remember
shit,
the
but
smartest-
I know like not to
remember-
fucking cross a street.
Well,
Yeah.
exactly.
Ours.
Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
might not know.
There's someone
like,
who could like change a heart organ and like do heart surgeries, but
Right.
don't even know how to fucking order breakfast.
Correct.
Well, I remember.
He's
I
right.
remember. I literally
He's right.
vividly remember one of the girls
I
that
was
was
gonna say
that
this
we were
too.
friends with that got the best grades in like the whole school and like was in the best classes. and we were like walking around near our house, and there was like broken
construction
glass on the
site.
ground, like a construction site.
No
and
way.
She's like crossing the street without looking, and like
No.
took her
Shoes
shoes,
off,
her
walked
feet
off.
hurt, and she's like barefoot walking in like
Right.
glass. I'm like, you're dumb. Like you're
Right.
Like you're not using your head, and it's like the girls with the best
Ugh.
grades in school making poor decisions out, and like just people who are just like disrespectful to like even waiters and stuff. Like you can, I
That-
can tell
Mm,
everything
yeah.
about
I
a person
can't,
by
I
how they
can't,
treat
I
a waiter
can't.
if you're out to eat.
I
at a
agree.
restaurant.
I think
That's the best
you can
testament.
Tell everything
Yep.
about a person.
Yep.
And I think a lot of what we learn, you learn early in life, and you learn from your parents, and not everything that's really important is learned in school.
I
right?
agree.
How to treat people
Yeah.
with respect.
Right.
You got to be learning that right
That's
from
the
the
number
get-go.
one thing for me.
Respect. Yeah.
Yeah, because
You treat people the way you want to be treated, and you have
Yep,
like common
always.
sense.
Especially waiters.
You can do wonderful things in life.
Yeah.
If you have no common sense and you treat people like assholes.
you're shit out of luck.
Yeah.
Because I remember
luck.
honestly, vividly, like having bad report cards, and you were making sure just as long as you're trying our hardest. You're
I
like, if you're
always said
getting a
trying.
C,
Always
if
said
you're
that.
getting a C,
And to be honest, Mom, I was never trying my
Thank
hardest.
you for
I never.
He didn't
like,
apply himself.
I think if I went to school and tried my hardest and put my full capability into it, my grades would have been A's. Like
I
would-
feel like that
That's why
too.
we would
Yeah.
get so frustrated, because we
Yeah.
also knew.
Like
that
I would
you
fully
could
admit
do
that there was definitely more I could have done. in
Sometimes
school.
I would
like
think
by
about, like,
far.
Okay, mom's a little stressed out. Let me get this one right.
Yeah.
Well, the best thing is a
I
parent
like
that
it.
if another parent or adult comes up to you and tells us that you guys are great,
Yeah.
it's the best feeling in the
Well,
world.
because
Best.
I also remember at parent-teacher conferences, like our teachers always have nice things to say about us. They'd just be
Always.
like, "Oh, they're not doing good on the actual lessons in class."
And I can live with that.
Yeah.
I can live with that. Really.
I mean, look where we
like
are.
if my kids
Well, I
are
was gonna
respectful,
say,
nice,
I
and
mean,
then
look
they're
where you
really
are
not
now.
into the work.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
We were never the kind of parents that were like, okay, you have to go to college.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
Everyone's path is different.
I went to college, right? But you know how that all thing goes. I came from immigrant parents. Grandpa didn't even go to my college graduation. He was just like,
Oh,
you should
wow.
be working full time. I don't know why you're going to college.
Imagine that.
So,
That's
like,
crazy.
so I wasn't raised with.
Wow,
like,
he viewed
you know,
college as
I was raised with you have
BS.
to work hard,
Yeah.
and you guys are working hard,
Yeah.
Same
So-
with my family. Too.
right?
My
Hard
mother and
workers.
father just
We come
work
from a
and
different
work and-
generation, and not everyone that goes to college now
Is even using
doing
the
as well
degree.
as you guys
Yeah.
do.
That too.
So there's
Yeah,
different
and not to
ways-
just to
Yeah.
just to
I just-
tag on a little bit. Some companies are doing away with like even seeing if you have a degree. So like a lot of you guys that are not going to college, like keep on the lookout for certain companies that you may have a good skill set for, because you may be able to sneak in, whereas someone with a degree, like they may not even they may wave off. So it is a different generation, different generational change happening with the world. So be on the lookout for that.
Be
Think of it like
successful.
it's about who you are. If you think going to college will benefit you, it probably will. If you think college won't benefit you,
And
it probably won't. Like you
right.
know the best about what situation you should get yourself into, and that's
Well,
why I
you
never
guys may
say.
decide to take classes someday.
Yeah, and that's
But you
why I'll
guys
never
can't
tell
make that
people, like,
decision when you're in 6th and 7th and
Yeah.
8th
Great.
grade.
Oh my
we have
God,
to make
yeah.
it so
yeah.
you know at least you're on board for
Yeah.
like till like.
And that's why I'll
like
never
11th
say like
grade.
even though me, Matt, and Chris didn't go to college, and we don't want to, or I don't want to now. I would never say like to someone who's going to college like, oh, you're making a bad move, because it's like that's probably
No,
the
that's
better
it.
move for you.
They're just
It
going
depends.
their
What
path.
they need
But
than
yes.
anyone
There's
else.
no
Yeah.
cookie cutter solution,
Right.
Yeah.
right? So I'll turn it around and ask you guys a question.
Okay.
How do you think your life turned out based on what you put into it
Shit.
in your 19 years?
20.
Well, you're 20 now, but leading up
Yeah,
until
yeah.
this year.
I would
They
say
got a
like,
house.
for me, just like I think that I got shaped mostly into who I am by working at like the grocery store and like actually working a job and respecting like the dollar bill as well. Like knowing, like having a sense of money was always huge. Like we were never spoiled growing up. We had what we needed, and like I was super grateful for everything that I received. And I feel like even me, Matt, and Nick not having like the latest smartphone, and like
Same.
even you guys having to support for 3 children, like is
Same.
at the exact same time as well. Like I always knew like if you just bought me a new pair of pants and like Matt a new pair of pants and Nick a new pair of pants, I'm like obviously mom and dad would get me like a hoodie that I want, but they just had to buy all their kids clothes as well.
Yeah.
So like even just growing up like that and like Like I never. I think it helps us stay humble as well, because even like having nowadays like making like more money and stuff than like a majority of the average of like the U.S., which is like insane to even think of. Like me, Matt, and Nick are in a very like lucky, fortunate spot, but it's never something that I never thought would happen. Like I fully had faith in.
But you know, you're not going to take advantage of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
No.
Like,
You understand what it is to do the Olympics.
Because like some people that like grow up like spoiled and then like go into straight into like the creator, influencer, famous space and like have tons of money are like extremely rude because they never know what it's even like to
not have
had
anything
friends here that
or
we've talked to that have also like been in a position of like they worked for a while in their life and now they're doing like what they're doing. And we talk about people that we've met that literally have the same situation as me, Matt, and Chris. Like they were just growing up, living, and like they understand the value of a dollar, and then they have a lot of money now, and like will, like somehow manage to like completely be disrespectful and just like not
forget the fundamentals
understand where
of
it came from. And it's like
manners.
for you to completely forget about how different. Like I always just think of like if when I was 14 or even like 12, what I would think of if I had what I had now, or if I was where I was now, because that's what I always wanted to do. So it's just crazy seeing people in like similar positions to me, Matt and Chris, just be extremely ungrateful for what
Different.
they have.
Right.
It's also like
Different,
I'm a firm
yeah.
believer of like money is obviously something good that I want, but it's not it's not everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I find happiness in things that aren't fancy clothes and spending money and having.
Yeah, you
stuff.
guys are definitely warming my heart right
Yeah.
now. 'Cause that's what we wanted.
Well, because it's also just perspective too, right? Like growing up, like being like just growing up and being friends with literally anybody. We would go to some friends' houses that lived in like crazy houses and like had elaborate things. And, like,
yeah,
their
you know.
Parents always had their house all.
You were just like,
nice, whatever.
ooh.
And then we go to
You know
some
of
people's
them.
houses that didn't have as much as us or as much as those people. So it would be like. We were always in perspective where like, we were friends with anybody, no matter the position
Right.
they were in life.
You
So
saw
it was
it,
just seeing,
okay.
like,
Both
the
sides.
people with like less that we were growing up with seem to be our happier and better friends than the people who had everything they needed.
Right.
Yep.
So it's just ironic because it's like you think that like there's like a clear and cut difference between people we'd hang out with back then, of like they had everything or they didn't have as much, and it just shows like you could tell that from just like a day of their actions.
Right.
And
Yep.
it's so
Even,
self-explanatory.
like,
Shoot,
What I
even
wanted to
an
bring up
hour
was
of their
going back to, like,
actions.
school. Like, did you and Dad feel more comfortable like sending us to school because we were triplets, like knowing we weren't alone? Like even not even just school, but even like summer camp.
Well, I'm just going to relate it
100%.
to coming out here.
yeah.
If we had a singleton, whatever, and he
Yeah.
came out to LA, we'd be like worried.
Yeah.
In the fact that you guys are out here. Like I can die tomorrow and be happy because you guys are like friends and together.
Yeah.
You know, and even
Yeah,
you know,
I-
y'all getting
Opposed to
older
one in
too,
this
you know?
state, this
You may
state.
go separate ways, maybe. Who knows? But it's like, for now, it's like I know you together, and it's very comforting for me to
Yeah.
know that you.
Because I remember even growing up, the only wish that you guys had was that the three of us were friends and would get along.
Still
Like out of
Still
anything
to
that
this
you did.
day. That's
But
to this day.
moving
I
forward,
don't think that's ever
I
gonna
know
change.
Matt didn't
though.
answer
No,
this question.
they might
I, like,
separate
I
as they
heard
get
your
older,
question, and
but
as they answered, I was just soaking at it, and I forgot the question.
what was the question?
I think the question was, what
Something
was the
about
question?
It was
How
like
did
something
I
about
say
the,
it?
like the first 19 years of your life. Like how does
how does that?
I
Reflecting
have a
back
similar-
on it
back.
now, would
It'll
you
come
have done
back.
anything
yes,
differently?
That was
Yeah.
the question.
What was it?
Reflecting back on
On
on life
where you are
would
now.
it be different, and what would you do?
Well, I feel like their answers was sort of like the money route, but like for me, I was like, I don't regret anything. I think that there was more of like, just I let one day in fucking like 2014 affect like 6 years of my life, which was a little upsetting, but I don't regret.
think
that
we
'cause
remember
now
him
I'm way more comfortable with like
getting into
shit
that.
going on.
Stuff happens, and you just persevere. You know, and
yeah, and
gotta live,
what
learn, and
happens
grow.
to you.
Oh
and
my
I said
gosh,
this to you
2020.
Shapes
just this
who you
week.
are.
It shapes who you
For
are.
sure.
And just to say the word humble is one of my favorite words, and that's what we always, Dad and I always say, stay humble, and you are, because if I call
Kendrick
you,
Lamar says that too, by the way.
Yes, he raps it.
I love that. I love that. I love that song. But if I were to go up to one of you guys and say, hey, someone I know needs
sit down, be humble. Hold up, we're down. Una night, una nana, dinero.
Needs some help right now. You've done
Spitting
it,
in my face.
and I know you'd do it again.
Yeah, right.
And that just makes us so
Yeah,
proud.
even if you have it rough, like growing up or whatever, and you persevere, and something else comes up that's really hard to deal with, you've dealt with it. So you know, if you've grown up being taken care of and like spoiled and stuff, and something comes up that
You don't know how to handle it.
You don't know how to deal with
I
it.
know
That's
someone
true.
They
like
don't
that.
appreciate it.
That's
right?
true.
So I know they want to ask us a question, but whatever you have today can be taken away in a second.
Yeah.
Like, always remember
Like
that.
I've even had friends out here that like obviously like everyone out here that's doing crazy things making a decent amount of money. Like I'll go to someone's house and then it's like as I'm at their house they have like a cleaning lady going to do their laundry and then they're like
You have your mom.
and then it's like and then it's like I do mine, Nick and Chris's laundry and then
Right.
they're like, oh, you could like I know you could definitely afford to do that and you do so much laundry, like you're doing all three of those, but like even something as simple as like coming home, Nick doing our dishes and me doing the laundry, it kind of like just
Chris
like
doing nothing.
like it's like
Fuck you,
yeah
kid.
nothing. But like I feel like even that like it's like something that we could afford, but I feel like I'll never want to like get too extra with like
Right.
like
Because
I'm
something-
Because
Have
then
a nice
you're
job.
essentially
Yeah, it's
removing
like
yourself
it's the
out of
way I
life.
grew up with.
Right.
I'm never gonna pay someone to wash dirty clothes I wore. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
Don't be
like,
afraid to
that's
have
just-
strong work ethic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know our life changed a lot when we started YouTube, but what changed for you guys since then? Like when we did YouTube, like our life obviously
Yeah.
projected, took a crazy turn, but there's like everyone around us was also affected. So like, what
Big
would
time.
you say?
The biggest fear was, where is this going?
Mm-hmm.
Is this gonna last? Are they gonna
How
be
sustainable.
disappointed? For me, I'm speaking for me.
No, at the very beginning, it
Yeah.
was kind of like
Yeah.
I
Like
didn't-
it seemed unbelievable.
like a pipe dream.
Yeah, it
it's
was
like
like,
Right.
all right.
it's a phase or whatever. And then when you started, no, really, when you
Oh,
like
yeah.
started getting like, you guys never blinked, like never wavered from it, and you just
No.
kept going. And I'm like, wow. And then when all the you were like kind of getting what you wanted out of it, and it was like holy,
Yeah.
like we couldn't
Right.
believe like
What they
you
were
know,
doing, yeah.
the big thing when you reached 10,000, how much that was a big thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you blinked your eye and it was like 100,000,
Yeah.
and then 1,000,000, and then now
Million.
it's like over 6 million. And
One day.
That's how I would act. Because
We're
their
still
generation
waiting
of
at 2,000
parents,
for a minute.
their mom and dad didn't understand it. So when they become parents, if that is in the cards for them, which I believe it will be, if their child tried to do it, it's gonna be like, oh, okay. Us, let's say YouTube doesn't pan out for us, which I don't believe. When our kids, if they try to do YouTube or Twitch, we're gonna be like, okay, like we can help you a little bit. We can steer you in the right direction. We know that this is a thing. Why? The Castanets of the world, the Sturniolo Triplets of the world, the Sidemen of the world. We know that this is something that you could actually become.
It's achievable.
It's achievable. It really is. So, I get it. I get it.
it's like, it really is kind of crazy when you think about it. It's a little
Yeah.
surreal. But like, if you grew up with the way Mom like was talking about earlier, when you grow up with a good sense of like values, like we were just talking about, then you guys are handling it. A lot of
Yeah.
kids your age, they would have pissed through their money already.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
start
I
doing
mean,
drugs.
Yeah.
Whatever, yeah. You guys don't drink. You don't do.
Yeah, we just
drugs.
hide that.
Yeah.
I think it changed for us because all of a sudden,
You heard
I
that?
mean,
He
What?
said we just hide that from y'all.
He's playing. He's
we
capping.
were used to people being like, "Ooh, you got triplets,"
Yeah.
you know. But a lot of people, all of a sudden, how do I put this? Like, all of a sudden, they were like,
People wanted more from all of us.
right, and I'd be like, they're still the same kids,
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
another
and
thing.
It didn't
and that's
change
another
them.
thing too. Like, it
Money
still
didn't
freaks me
change
out,
them.
like being at your show and seeing fans like scream about you guys, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's like,
what are they
wow.
screaming about?
See, I don't
Wow.
think.
Uh-huh.
He's like, I'm also like, what
Yeah.
the fuck are these?
I think a lot of people don't really realize, like, you guys do have a lot of fun doing it, but they don't realize the work, like how
That
hard
goes
and how
behind
hard
it.
you guys work at.
Editing,
And that's
setting
pretty
this up.
impressive. Like,
Yeah.
it seems on the surface like it's all fun and games. Oh, they're having a blast, but it's like, you guys are like busy like every day
Yeah.
doing something. It's
Yeah.
pretty impressive. Like,
But I also just think of like
it's just not a 9 to 5 job. It's
Yeah.
like it could be like 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, let's do a podcast, or let's do a
It
car
hasn't
video.
really changed how we live life. Like, we've come to California a few times.
Yeah.
It's nice to go on trips to California and have your kids pay for it. It's nice to have a
Yeah, 'cause
home.
I'd never be out here.
Yeah, we're still back where we are, but
I mean,
you
it's
know,
35 degrees right now.
it's nice to know that, like, if we really were like, hey,
We want to
listen,
come.
you know, I want to
That
go
we
on a
got
trip. Let's
you.
do it.
Yeah.
You guys would take care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't take that for granted. We don't take that for granted. But, like, Dad and I are still like my
Huh?
proudest
Like,
moment
what?
last night was when you said you had a Ralph's card for the grocery store.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, he's still using discount cards. I love it. Like,
Because even
Cause-
I just think of like our entire life, you've always like
Smart,
helped
man.
us put in
Save your
perspective
money.
what we had and always give back and be kind to people.
Right.
So it's just always is mind blowing to me when like filming videos and like having all these people subscribe to our account. It's like we're not doing anything out of the ordinary, and yet I feel like we're still doing like what you've taught us, like give back and be kind to people. Because all of our videos is essentially for people to watch. Like
Right.
it's pointless to create videos if we're not gonna have people that care about it and watch it. And that's the thing is like there are so many people that like we've created a community of like I don't like to say give back and be kind because I feel like we would do it regardless. For them, it's like our fans really enjoy the videos that we make, and like it puts into perspective of like
I enjoy them
how
immensely.
many people care about what we do, or how many people are like it's just mind blowing.
well, you're making a message too, you know, and, you know, as a mom, as a parent, my proudest moments are that my kids are making a difference in the world. And
Well, you're
um,
making people happy.
you're making people
Right.
happy.
That's
I wish we
good.
could answer every single fan letter.
I
I
know,
wish
yeah.
we could.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
Mom's thing. Like every single fan letter,
person
Mom
matters.
Well,
wants
tell
to
them
write.
about how we haven't gotten rid of any bit of fan mail. And
Oh,
it's
it's
all in
all
your
in
list.
No, I actually just went out after the last tour and bought more Rubbermaid totes, and like, we
Oh,
What did I
wow.
do when you guys came
Yeah.
home?
We
What did I do?
organized
It's all-
everything.
All of our tour fan mail.
Every
everything.
bracelet is color coded
Even
in a
people who
separate
find our
bag.
address and send stuff to the house.
Yeah, and I
like,
want
which
to
is
add,
kind of
like,
scary and
sometimes I'll
creepy,
say to
very,
you, you guys should really answer this person. They seem really. But I get it.
Yeah,
I get that it's
It
too
could
much.
Open up a bad, like it
so
could be some psycho. And
It
it's like,
could.
Sending
There
doo-doo.
are a lot of people who
it's just,
don't
it's
know
just
boundaries.
not worth the risk sometimes.
Yeah.
And people just get too excited if like a famous person. It's also like
we're
Answers
the
back.
one thing that
yeah,
is
yeah.
scary about stuff is like I've had like even like some little girl like makes a TikTok and she's like, I'm going to your Orlando show and I'm wearing my white shoes, so I want you to wear your white shoes too. And then like I was like, oh, like turn your duets on, because I was gonna like reply to the video and be like, oh yeah, I'll wear my white shoes. But then like other jealous people know that I want to respond to her video, so then her video gets taken down. So then it's like
It's
I
like a-
wore my
yeah,
white
like-
shoes anyway, hoping
Like
that
a
she was still
12-year-old
going.
girl at like literally going to one of our
That's
shows.
crazy.
Like, Matt, wear your
Yeah,
shoes.
because you got to think they're like, oh well, he's responding to that video. Oh yeah, let's get it taken down. So they'll just band together and then get the video removed. That's
petty.
that's petty and like, come on, man, come on.
It's like I'll wear my shoes, like no problem. And they report her
get
and get her
jealous
deleted
and,
off
like,
the
shut
app.
her-
Yeah, the
So
world
it's like-
of social media has a lot of pluses, but it definitely, and
Yeah.
this is Dad and I are learning more about this social media thing. You know, people really should remember to keep
Don't
it
say
safe.
on the internet what you wouldn't say in person. It's
Don't,
like
right.
big.
Don't
And
hide
if someone
behind the
comes out with some
internet.
bogus claim about you guys, it makes me like furious. That I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you have no idea what my kids like. They would never do that or
But
whatever.
Right.
even like
It's
even like
but-
fake things. Like when I remember literally when what's it called? Like when people go up to you guys and tell you things about us that are
Oh.
not true.
Oh,
yeah, I know where
That's
what you're
annoying.
getting
That's
at.
disgusting.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah.
one of our friends, Lorraine, that films YouTube videos,
Yeah.
we made a video
Lorraine.
with, and we posted one video together.
Yeah, that was
and
crazy.
my mom went on a trip, and someone went up to her and was like, "Oh, you know, your son Nick is dating Lorraine."
Yeah.
And
What
my mom goes,
the-
"Who is that?" And no, he's not. And then so
I
my
said,
mom
"No,
called.
he's not."
I told my mom like, "No, me and Lorraine are friends. We're just both gay people, and people love
Right.
to immediately."
assume.
Assume
It is
that
hard.
they
People
are
forget that
banging.
you're real. You have real lives. You have, you know, real feelings. It's not all,
Yeah.
you know.
It's like that saying, "Don't ever forget where you came from." Like
Yeah.
it's like no.
But it's also I also hate complaining because there's so many positive things out there of like think of like we have 5.5 million
Yeah.
subscribers of people that just want to watch our videos and enjoy them and have positive reactions to it and enjoy our videos. But then it's like, it is easy to allow the very few people that do something negative. It's really easy to let the few of the 5.5 million people saying something negative to get to you.
Yeah,
but
of
then
course.
you have to just put into perspective of how many people are actually like saying
Being
something crazy or doing
positive.
something obnoxious versus the 5.5
Right,
people that are
that
just
aren't.
enjoying your
Yeah.
videos and happy
Right.
for you. And
I,
it's like
this-
it's easy to complain in this position of like when people are talking shit about you on the internet, but I don't like to because there's so many positive things out there as well.
Yeah.
It's the
Right.
same way you would never write like
Let the haters
a
hate.
positive
Yeah.
review
Let
of
the
a
positive
restaurant,
people
you know
be
what I mean?
positive.
Like most people
Well, I
when,
would.
when they go to a restaurant and something goes wrong, they'll go on their fucking phone and be like,
Right,
oh, this
complain.
meal is
They'll
terrible, complain.
concentrate
It's like,
more on the negative.
Yeah.
than
Yeah,
Than the
all the other
positive.
it's easier to
positives,
complain
right?
than it is to
Right.
be happy about shit.
I
but
think you guys have a
fine.
great opportunity here to send out good messages, and I think you're doing it. You know, I think in a world where a lot of people are negative, a lot of people are complaining, a lot of people are feeling very like entitled, I think the opportunity to spread
Entitlement.
love and kindness is there. You're doing it. What more could we ask for? You got to keep safe, and you guys have taught me that because I would
Aw.
just talk to everyone. But I mean, definitely, you know, for people who try to reach me and tell me how wonderful my sons are, I get it. I appreciate you, but I can't write you back. I can't
Yeah.
reach out. I can't respond because it would just get crazy.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, you're just three young men doing the best you can, living your life, following your dreams, and you just happen to make a lot of
And
people happy.
this is basically her response to all those people that are like writing her and trying to let her know about how good her sons are, because of course she knows. She knows.
It's like we hear. It's like I understand that she's like I hear you, but because people like they had said, I'm just elaborating that some people are a little cuckoo. Like,
Crazy.
It's kind of hard to like respond to everyone
because
it's
everyone has
like,
their own agenda.
Yeah.
You know, and you never know what that agenda is. So this
don't
is basically
know what
her
everyone's
response.
intentions are, but
Right.
I'm glad that she's being respectful and it's not like
Oh,
Yeah,
there's
just-
so much. Like, why are they sending this mail and blah blah blah? Like,
no. They have the most supportive parents. It is like I'm here for it.
yeah. And I actually love the fact that they, for the most part, have basically, even with all the fan mail, obviously we don't know how much it is and we don't see any pictures of like just how crazy it is. But for them to kind of just accept it, they're taking the time to organize it, put it in these totes. Like, that's pretty awesome. Because
I'm
one
sure
day,
they're gonna look back on it.
That's
when
what I'm
they're
saying.
older
Yep.
And show their if they have kids, show their kids.
like, hey, this is what Daddy was doing with, you know, your uncle. You know, so I love it. I love it.
Amen.
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 Yeah.
I have another question though.
Okay.
'Cause
I
this
thought
is-
we were running out of time.
No, we can figure it out. But this question, I'm just curious to hear your answer, because before we did YouTube, we would always go to you guys and tell you like, oh, this is my favorite person, this is my favorite artist, this is my favorite whatever of this. So it's like, what has happened to us career-wise, or what has happened to us in the world that just shocks you the most out of anything?
That you have tours and people buy tickets to
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Crazy.
that's
Yeah.
definitely the
Like-
craziest.
Yeah.
I remember.
And it's
the
not like they're
first
musicians or anything.
Tour show, the next to last.
In New York.
New
one?
York.
Mhm.
It was just like just walking in there and seeing all the people and just like they're all here for our boys, and it was just like crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Times Square too. The billboard
Yeah,
that
Times
really
Square.
solidified
Yeah.
it for me.
Oh
I
yeah,
just
they were
was
on a
like-
billboard.
I was
Yeah,
even
yeah.
thinking you were gonna say something about Chris meeting Skies because of how often he used to tell.
Oh,
me.
that.
Well,
we
yeah,
could
I
do.
just-
Well, there's a lot, but
Yeah.
the
There's a
ones
lot.
that stick out, like the billboard in our hometown, like the three of you guys are up on this billboard at the gas station.
It's crazy.
down the street from your
Yeah.
elementary school.
I went in there, Cumberland Farms, one day, and there's the girl I knew for a long time buying my coffee, and I'm just like, those are my kids. I'm like, those are my kids, and they're like, no way.
I mean, you meeting little skies. Remember when
Yeah.
I found out you did? I
Yeah.
just started crying
Yeah.
because
That was a good fun.
I was on a vacation. I saw it before you told me,
Yeah.
and my friend that I was with, I was like, "You don't understand."
Yeah.
Chris
He's
has
been
talking
dying to
about
meet
Yes.
these guys.
crazy tattooed rappers for years, and he met him, and he went on stage with them, and I just can't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was at Summer Smash, which was like a lyrical lemonade festival.
I was just
So it was
so
like
happy
being
for you.
Pow. Yeah.
And now when you say like you hang with them and I see pictures, I just love it, you know. And I mean, you guys are gonna make dreams come true,
Yeah.
and you're doing
And
it
another
every day.
impressive
They're doing
thing,
that
my
now.
shout out to my boy Matt, is with his social anxiety
Oh.
issues he's had, to see him up on stage with like
Yeah.
1,000 screaming
even-
girls, and I'm like,
He said-
holy like
said,
Matt,
"That's not
like
even
someone
me."
would say social anxiety standing up on stage, but it takes quite a bit of
Yeah.
Confidence
Yeah,
to get up there and do
that's
that.
crazy. I don't believe that about me either sometimes because I'm
Yeah.
just like I'm not doing.
It's. I feel like me, Matt, and Chris
I
need
feel
like
like
you're
alter-
having an out of
Me, Matt,
body
and Chris
experience.
need like alter
Mm.
ego names for the people that go on stage because it's not us.
Yeah, that's
You know
what I'm saying.
Like we
It's
need like
It's like when I'm meeting the people, it's easy
it's
because it's like
Chester and
it's,
Tester.
it's,
No,
it's
literally.
easier because there's like
really
there's
is.
the
Well,
line.
Larry and Colonel.
Yeah.
There's like the line of people and then there's
The
like
Three
the
Stooges.
curtains and stuff like that. So it's like when I'm meeting the fans like one-on-one and meet and greets or like taking one photo at a time, it's like yes I like hear all of them behind the backdrop and stuff like that, but it's easier because I'm focusing on one person at a time. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then when I'm on the stage,
That stuff always drives
and then it's also like it's crazy being on the stage too.
I'll tell you in a second.
It's also crazy like being on the stage too, where it's like I don't know, it's very strange.
What's the hardest part of the tour for you? Anxiety.
the initial walkout onto the
Always the
stage.
most difficult
And
part.
then
Oh,
feeling- and it's also-
definitely.
It's also like being like
It is kind of crazy because when we walked out on stage prior to what you guys walked out,
To watch
it
this,
was
yeah.
like screaming.
Oh, I love that shit.
yeah.
I was gonna start rapping, but I thought you guys would be. Yeah, I'll leave that to Trill.
For sure.
Yeah.
Plus, I'd probably sprain my ankle.
But like it's definitely the initial walkout for sure. But it is very
He's crazy.
The hardest part for me on tour is definitely like just maintaining like a bubbly, like can-do attitude.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
by like the 400th person, like I am happy to
Ready
be
for
there
a
and
shower.
have
But you're
fun.
just
I am
tired.
ready for like a shower and I'm tired.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I'm like sweaty and hot and like the venues always get super like
Hot.
I
Moist.
want to
Yeah.
think those
Humid.
shoes I got on right
no,
now.
Yeah.
literally. That's how.
And it's like even like doing like the meet and greet photos, like doing 200 before the going on stage and then 200 after on stage.
Oof.
It's like after the whole like the off stage, like after you get off stage and you're doing the 200 after the show, it's like I'm more tired, but
Oh,
I want to give the same experience.
Same
to the
energy,
people
got you.
Right.
Yeah.
after because
and
they're
it's
paying
also
the
like,
same
it's
amount.
also
of money,
even
so
like
it's
being alert. But no, what I was gonna say to you, Mom, what I don't like is when we're meeting someone and someone else who's like in line or like tries to take their moment. Because
Oh,
when like
yeah.
someone's coming up and like hugging us and then like we take the photo, like that's who my focus is on. Because I don't want to like ruin their experience.
That's really
Mhm.
You guys have a lot of people on the tour help that. There's so
Yes.
many people that helped you guys out that are like so cool, like
Yeah.
that we got to meet. And it's
Yeah.
like
Our tour team
really like
Jimmy.
I'll never tour
You
without
guys
that tour team,
landed
for sure.
really good.
good
Yeah.
You know,
people, a lot of good people.
You surround
And a
yourself.
lot goes into it.
by a
that
good
people
team.
Don't realize
Yeah.
how much.
Yeah, I think we can finalize by saying that we're in a comfortable position. We have great friends and great family, and I feel happy with where we're at right now.
I agree.
Me too.
To be continued.
I'm just really grateful that you have asked us here, that you still want to hear what we have to say and
Yeah.
you care, and that you want to hang with us.
All right, that's
Aw.
enough. Get up. Let's go.
What up?
That was great.
Yay! good
Bye,
episode.
everyone.
Bye.
Block my camera with my hand.
That feeling, I know that feeling.
I know that. I'm feeling
With
that
the
right
back, with the back, just
Feeling that right
with
now.
the back, just would get up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, what you doing? Chico, you've been trying to get on me this whole video. Alright, chill.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Hi. Hello,
that
y'all.
was the Sturniolo Podcast, episode 24, with Jimbo and Mary Lou.
Mary Lou.
Mary Lou.
Aw, I'm glad to see their parents back on here.
Yeah.
Haven't seen them in a very, very, very long time.
Yes. So if you guys enjoyed that one, make sure you let us know by hitting that subscribe and notification bell. Definitely make sure you subscribe to the Cut the Camera podcast. Leave a like and enjoy that video first. I'm pretty sure you already did.
Check out our links in the description.
Yes, if you want to get in a personally handcrafted chair from DX Racer, the link is in the description like my partner just said. Down below. And we also have a personal channel, so if you guys want to check that out, make sure you check that out. With that being said, we're happy.